Hi, I'm Martin Colmer, and this is my first video in the 100 Years of Bombers group build, and this is my entry, the Dornier DO-217 E-4. I've always kind of liked Luftwaffe aircraft, but this one is probably about the biggest I've ever built, so it's going to be an adventure. The 217 E-4 came into use around early 1942. And it was initially used against Great Britain and in Russia, and I don't know, it's just gonna be a neat kit. It's by Revell, and I've never built a Revell plastic kit, especially an aircraft one. So wanted to spend the first episode here just showing you what's inside the box. First thing that comes to sight is the decal sheet, and this is really, well, encouraging to me because it doesn't have about 100,000 little stencils that I have to pick off with the tweezer and put on the wings and worry about losing them and flaking off and all the rest of the nasty bits that happen with small decals. But it does have enough of the big crosses and the swastikas and the markings of the individual aircraft. Got some colorful ones here, this end here, maybe I can use that. Let's see, got the directions, we can get to that later. But I've already taken the parts out of the bags because the first thing I do with all kits now, especially since I'm using acrylic paints, is to wash them. If you don't wash the parts, no matter how much they seem like they don't have any mold release on them, and you use acrylic paint, you'll get an awful lot of beating up and just a mess. Since I have to work now in my man cave here, and it's indoors in the house, I have to use acrylic paint, so I don't mind doing that, but it's just acrylics are not the best paints to work with. First sprue here is the fuselage halves. Rear tail planes, etc. A lot of little fiddly bits, I'm sure they're for machine guns and oxygen tubes and rudder pedals and other things. The wings themselves give you an indication of just how big this aircraft is going to be when it's a fully assembled model. It's going to take up a lot of shelf space, but I hope it's worth it. All the Revell parts in the kit appear to be pretty nice. They have engraved panel lines, finely engraved. They'll highlight nice when I get it painted and decaled. Here's an interesting sprue. It's got the whole upper fuselage, the upper tail planes, and the wing roots, and the wings out actually past the engine nacelles. There's a cockpit side panel showing all the instruments, the buttons and switches, and little radio boxes and things, and navigation aids that the pilots and other crew members had to deal with. Engine nacelles, these are for the BMW engines that powered this aircraft. The main landing gear wheels are also flattened nicely. And here's some auxiliary fuel tanks, which I'll be equipping this with too. They add a little more detail and interest in the model. And the glass, the part that, well, I guess I'll just admit I hate this about making aircraft is dealing with the glass, but it's an absolute necessity. And you just have to deal with it, learn how to deal with it, learn how to mask it off and paint it, and then peel off the mask without chipping off the paint, all the rest of it. Seems to be pretty good glass. There's a little fogging on the nose glazing. The upper glass for the canopy has really what amounts to very little glass. It's mostly fuselage that you're going to be masking off and and masking off the glass part, and then when you paint it, there'll be quite a bit of dark metal up there. That's about it. Oh yeah, the directions. The directions are a multi-page booklet. We've got step 1 through, let's see here. Well, there are multiple step 1s, but it goes all the way through to the completion of the model, and that's in step 10 here. I probably won't build strictly according to the directions, and who does really, because you've got to paint the sub-assemblies and fit them together, and then excuse me, usually have to deviate from the directions sequence. There's a couple of views of the aircraft and the camouflage scheme. The stenciling on German aircraft, especially early in the war, was pretty standard as far as each factory's application of the camouflage for the model aircraft built. So the 217s, just about every 217 and all the 217 E-4s had this camouflage scheme on the upper part of the fuselage, and then the lower part is all light blue. It's going to make for, again, a very big model, a lot of weathering to be done. I don't think I'll do the night fighter or the night bomber scheme. I'm going to really strictly do a day aircraft. So that's about it for now. I hope to do about an hour a day devoted to this subject, so I should be done in a couple of months. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.